Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing, Thursday, September 12th. Looking at the satellite imagery, we have quite a bit of clouds and moisture up in the north. We see a lot of that with the recent storm system, some with the recent lightning in the south, and still some smoke in southern and southeastern areas of the Great Basin. Now, looking at the impact map for today, still some gusty winds and low humidity across far southern and eastern areas. This is the very strong cold front by this dashed line. Behind the front, still windy but moist, higher humidity, and still showers and even some snow on the higher peaks above 8,000 feet. So definitely a good reprieve up there. Not much reprieve for the Davis fire in the Sierra front other than higher humidity, but it will be getting gradually warmer and drier back to normal seasonable levels by this weekend. Now, quite a bit of precipitation up north, not in all areas, but the darker blues are about a quarter to a half inch of rain. The pockets of green close to an inch of rain. Lots of lightning up through there, but a lot of it came with much higher humidity and wetting rains. Still some new starts up there in the red initially with the lightning, but the higher humidity should take through today. But past 24 hours, we had 21 new fires for 625 acres. Lots of growth on existing large fires, nearly 39,000 acres. We continue at PL5. But other than yesterday, it was a dry week, very scant precipitation amounts. Most areas across the geographic area were only 5% to 0 of normal. The ERCs, a lot of this recorded before all the rain began to fall, but a lot of areas up north still in that 90th percentile, near 97th percentile in the Sierra front. A lot of these numbers will start coming down over the next 24 hours. For today, we'll see the reflection already on the 10-hour fuels up north, a lot of them moistening up between 16 and 20%. Still quite dry, though, in our far southern areas. Now, here's the upper level map for later this afternoon. The deep low pressure area now moving into parts of southwest Montana. We still have clouds and moisture in some areas lingering. You can see that we have some of our PSAs have gone from brown to green with all that rainfall, and more that is expected today, and a gradual progression towards marginal conditions in the yellow, but still quite critical in the brown. And we still have wind effects. You can see this dry air mass here with these strong winds aloft in our far southern areas. You can see those strong winds down there with these oranges to purples, the 30 to 40 plus mile an hour winds with the humidities down into the low and mid teens. Decent winds up north, but of course the humidity much, much higher. And even up in the Sierra front, humidity coming up in the low and mid 20s as opposed to the low and mid teens. Now, on top of the rainfall, tenth to quarter inch and some pockets of a half inch that have already fallen. About another tenth to a quarter inch in most areas again today up north in Idaho. Not much further south of the Idaho border, just some scant amounts in the northern Wasatch. And then we dry out, at least temporarily on Friday. Dry air mass, not a big high pressure ridge, so temperature is still on slightly cooler than normal. We'll be watching a series of fronts, though, approaching from the Pacific Northwest. Winds overall fairly light on Friday. The humidity starting to dry out a little bit in the southern and central areas, and drying out a little bit, but still up north, but still above 30%. Now, here's the next front coming through. You see some moisture starting to approach the central northern areas of Idaho. As we go into Saturday, the winds start picking up a little bit, not much, maybe 10, 20 miles an hour in the dark green. Humidity, especially in western and southern areas, definitely drying out and starting to dry out into the 20 to 30% range up in Idaho. We'll see how the existing fires react to some of that drier weather. Big temperature change today, how cool it is up north, 69 in Boise, 53 up in McCall, and what we see is about a 10 to 15 degree temperature rise in a lot of areas over the next 2 or 3 days. Through-day precipitation totals, most of this in the next 24 hours. Now on Sunday, another low-pressure trough starts developing along the west coast. You see more clouds and moisture in these green and black areas moving into western and northern areas. There'll be some more precipitation, but there'll be some wind ahead of it, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But then on Monday, low pressure area moves in, and clouds and moisture overspread the area pretty deeply. We can see that a lot of PSA start turning green, and then definitely deeper moisture starting to move in by Tuesday and Wednesday, especially tapping some moisture from the south. Widespread light to moderate rains for many areas coming through. We can see that precipitation. This is Sunday through Monday. The darker green is about a 1/4 inch. The blues are about a 1/2 inch. And hitting our Idaho mountains again, and also some for the Davis fire, and then continuing lingering on Tuesday and Wednesday. So this 1-2 punch could be very, very beneficial to a lot of our existing fires. These are the 7-day total precipitation amounts from here on in addition to what's already fallen. So if this pans out, and the models have been going back and forth on it, so we're not that certain, but this would definitely change our fire landscape. And the 8 to 14 day outlook continues with the cooler than normal temperatures in most areas, and then wetter than normal for our northern areas, but drying out across the far south and east. Concludes our briefing. Have a great day.